Let's grab a map and go on an adventure. Let's get into it. Hey, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all doing well out there. Today we're going to talk about the latest video game adaptation. But before we get into it, like, comment, subscribe. Join me here. I greatly would appreciate that. Especially the subscribe button. Help me get to 500 and onward to 1,000. I'd very much appreciate it. Click on the little notification bell. That way every time I upload a video, you'll get notified and you can come back and see what I got going on over here. Today we're going to talk about Uncharted, the latest video game adaptation. Now, up front I'm going to say I've never played this video game. I'm not much of a video game player, so I have no idea how accurate or faithful this movie is to the source material. I do know Uncharted is an action-adventure game, but other than that, I don't know anything about it. Some of my friends who have played the game have said that this movie's more like a prequel to the game, and some things are accurate, some things are not. So I don't know what's true, what's not true. If you've played the game and you've seen the movie, leave a comment down below and let me know what the differences are. I'd really appreciate that. The movie just dropped on Friday. It was PG-13. It's an hour and 56 minutes long. It had a budget of $120 million. And it's directed by Ruben Fleischer, who directed Zombieland 1 and 2, Gangster Squad, and the first Venom movie. Now, in this film, we have Tom Holland, that's right, Spider-Man here, as Nathan Drake. We got Mark Wahlberg as Victor Sullivan, or Sully. We got Antonio Banderas as Santiago, and Sophia Ali as Chloe Frazier. Now, this is going to be minor spoilers here. I'm not going to get deep to dive into it, just my thoughts on this film from a cinematic experience, because, again, I'm not familiar with the game. But basically, Nathan Drake is a street-smart young man working at a bar in New York City and gets approached by Sully to go on an adventure and find Magellan's long-lost treasure. It's been lost for 500 years. And that is pretty much the gist of our story, besides they're being chased by somebody else that's interested in it, and there's double court Rosses going on. And that's pretty much Uncharted. What to like about this film? Because this is an action-adventure film in the vein of Indiana Jones, National Treasure, with a little bit of Tomb Raider thrown in. So it's definitely in a genre we've seen before, we're fans of. It's basically, did it entertain me? And I got to be honest up front, it did entertain me. Is it the greatest movie I've ever seen? No, but I was entertained for its runtime. Yes, there's some plot holes, there's some things that drag a little bit, especially in the beginning of the film. For the film to get going, it does take its time a little bit. To show some backstory of Nathan Drake when he was a child and his brother Sam, which was a plot point that really, unless they're going to, there's some after credit sequences that show that Sam is still alive because we think he's dead at first. So I guess they're setting up that character in hopes that they get to make a sequel if it makes enough money. It did okay this weekend. I think it made 130 total worldwide opening weekend. So they might get a chance to make another one. I wouldn't mind seeing a sequel to this, I'll say right now. I think the movie takes a little bit to get going, but once it gets going, I like the chemistry between Mark Wahlberg and Tom Holland. I mean, Tom Holland is very charismatic, so is Mark Wahlberg, and I like Tom Holland. I know he doesn't match what the character was in the game. I know a lot of people have told me that he's total opposite of what the guy in the game kind of comes off as. But Tom Holland's fun here. He's good, like he always is. Mark Wahlberg's Mark Wahlberg. I like Mark Wahlberg as an actor, but let's be honest. His acting range... He basically is getting by on his charisma, and he's very charismatic here. And him and Tom Holland, which if their chemistry didn't work, it works here. So I was on board for it. All the actors do really well. Antonio Banderas as Santiago, they build him up to be the main bad guy, and they kind of shortchange his character because he gets double-crossed by his enforcers that he'd hired to run this little small army for him. She slits his throat, and he's gone out of the movie where you think he's going to be the main bad guy, and surprise, he's not. So I was a little surprised they killed him off the way they did. It kind of comes out of nowhere, but that's what they do. There's some really good action sequences here. Yes, they stretch the believability of reality. Of course, as a video game adaptation, even in Indiana Jones had action scenes that were unbelievable. It's just all in how they're handled. If you're there for the story, you'll buy into whatever crazy over-the-top action sequence they're going to give you. And I was invested in it. I liked the characters. I didn't mind the story. It's a very simple story. And the action scenes when it did happen, especially the airplane sequence, and in the last sequence with the two ships being hauled away, and there's a in-flight battle between the two helicopters, I enjoyed it. I was there for it. It's well staged. It's well shot. Yes, we know it's CGI, most of it, but there's some cool stunt work here. There's some cool little hand-to-hand fights. There's some cool chase scenes. They definitely utilize parkour in some of the chase scenes. And I heard from what I read, Tom Holland did a lot of his own stunts. And I enjoyed myself. Is it the greatest film I've ever seen? No, but it's definitely a fun action-adventure story. And with a couple of good leads, and everybody down the line does really good work. So I enjoyed myself. Now, I will say Chloe Frazier, for how much she is involved in the plot, she kind of disappears towards the final act of the film. So I was kind of disappointed in that. I thought she would show up again, and we do see her briefly. But honestly, her character kind of just falls off the map, figuratively. That wasn't a pun. And it was kind of like her character just kind of goes away, and then we see her briefly at the end, and that's it. I thought that was kind of an odd choice, but that's what happens. Other than that, I did enjoy it. It was a fun time at the movies. My son really enjoyed it. My wife, who knew nothing going in, she thought it was a superhero movie, and she walked out and she enjoyed it. So at the end of the day, it did what it was supposed to do. It entertained us for 2 hours, and I'll buy it when it comes out on 4K. I enjoyed it enough to buy it, and I wouldn't mind seeing a sequel. Again, this isn't Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's nowhere near as good as Raiders of the Lost Ark because it's going to be compared to that. But I think it's on the level of National Treasure, which I like those films. They're fun. They're whimsical. And I like, again, the cast sells it here, and I was there for it, and the action is competently directed and nicely shot. So I had a good time. So yeah, I would give Uncharted a 7 out of 10. It's a good, fun time at the movies. Again, I've seen other reviews online for people that are fans of the game, and they're not very happy with this. Again, I'm just coming at this as a pure movie-going experience, and I enjoyed myself. I didn't hate myself when I left the theater. I thought it was a well-done action-adventure movie with some problems, but I could forgive those because I like the actors on screen, their chemistry, and the action kept me entertained. So at the end of the day, yes, 7 out of 10 for Uncharted. Now, this film was actually filmed before Spider-Man No Way Home, and now it's coming out after Spider-Man No Way Home, but with the pandemic, everything got shifted around. So here we got it now in February of 2022. So yeah, 7 out of 10 for Uncharted. Have you seen this movie yet? Leave a comment down below. Let me know. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button once again. I'd greatly appreciate that. I'll be back with a review for the original The Hitcher, and then we're going to do the remake of The Hitcher. But until then, take care of yourselves, and bye.